Good morning.
So, Joe, what brings you here today?
Well, I've been invited to come here almost for the last 4, maybe 6 months. It's been a busy campaign schedule, and I thought it was very, very appropriate to follow up on the invitation to come here where the Lubavitch Rebbe is resting.
Did you fill out a blessing, or what do you think the significance of this
As most
is?
people do, they fill out a blessing, they leave it there, and it's private.
Nothing about the election season.
Private. It's all about the future of New York City and the great future of New York City.
Just to move on to some political questions.
Any more on being here? All right.
So you said you were going to talk to Mike Bloomberg after Tuesday. Have you spoken to him? Have you spoken
I've placed a phone call. He's been very, very busy with all of the 9/11 events. I will talk to him in due time. He's making a major speech today at the Downtown Alliance. There'll be time.
And what about Chris Christie? There's some news about you courting him as well.
I haven't spoken to Governor Christie since January, honestly. I didn't see that report, but if I did, I would have told the reporter that that's pure speculation.
Bill de Blasio is obviously surging. There is some speculation about your viability against him. He's supposedly very popular. What do you think your chances are in the general facing?
I believe my chances are very, very good. You will not get a more stark difference in approach between the two of us. We have very, very different ideas on taxes, jobs, education, almost every single issue. We're polar different and polar opposites. New Yorkers will have a true distinction. It'll be a vibrant campaign, and I think people of New York deserve that.
Have you spoken to John Katsimatidis at all about the liberal line and whether he'll take any active steps to continue to run?
I have not. He and I have texted each other. We'll be seeing each other over the next couple of days.
Katsimatidis took all of Staten Island. Staten Island is obviously a hub or bastion of...
He didn't take all of it. I got to
He did take a lot.
He's right.
He took a lot.
Smidgen majority, all of whom will be with me in November.
It surprised people. Were you surprised by his performance, and does that worry you for
No, I wasn't surprised by his performance at all. I campaigned up until the very last minute and made sure, even until the polls closed, that I was getting my message out. John had his message. He had a lot of wherewithal to back up his message. So I had to work as hard as I possibly could. No, I'm not surprised by the results at all.
How will you be convincing those people in Staten Island to come to your side?
Well, I'll be comparing myself to the opponent, which will be Bill de Blasio, knowing the people of Staten Island, knowing what they believe in, knowing what their political philosophies are, both Democrats and Republicans on Staten Island. I feel very, very comfortable. I'm not going to forget Staten Island. I never have. I never will. I will campaign vigorously on Staten Island, as I will in all boroughs of the city of New York. I will convince them that the future of New York with Mayor Lhota is a much more brighter future than with any other mayor.
What would the future be like under a de Blasio administration?
Now let's talk positively. Let's talk about me. We're in a holy place. This is not the right time or place to participate in that. And I actually don't want to participate in what's going on the Democratic side right now. It's a serious situation we have. We're not sure who is the victor, or whether we know who the victor is in numbers, but we're not sure if there's a runoff or not. It's inappropriate for me to involve myself in that runoff. We need to get it. We need to get it fixed. But I also believe the fact that there are some votes that are still not counted. I believe I read that the paper ballots are not going to be open till Monday. Why not today? And we have a big issue we have to address, regardless of our political affiliations. This is one thing I'm sure Bill and I, and almost everyone agrees. We need to find a way to make sure that the Board of Elections is as efficient and as effective as possible. But when I went to my polling place, the polling machine didn't work. I had to fill out a paper ballot. All New Yorkers should have the right to vote uniformly, consistently, and have a way in which the numbers are counted immediately.
Who do you think your base of supporters is? And we saw that, the founder of Home Depot throwing a fundraiser for you. The Giuliani is obviously by your side, was by your side election night.
Most of the fundraising that I've done, because you're asking me about a fundraising, there are two different things between supporters and fundraising. I have numerous very small contributions from all 5 boroughs. When you look at it, you've talked about 2 people, or two families actually, who have maxed out, which is $4,950, but I have hundreds, thousands actually, of less than $200 contributions. That's because of my popularity all throughout the city of New York, with the middle class, with people who are attempting to go into the middle class. That's where my message is resonating, because I'm bringing a message of change, of making sure that we have a government that listens to the people, goes into the communities. I said it throughout the campaign, and I said it again on Tuesday night during the acceptance speech. I'm going to reinstitute again town hall meetings and have the mayor, bring the deputy mayors, bring all the commissioners, spend 2 to 3 hours in the communities once a month, every month, making sure that we listen. Listen. The most important thing that a mayor can do is listen to the communities and then respond to them. We are one city, but we need to make sure that there are communities. And as part of that community as well is making sure that parents are involved in the education process. Part of what's going on with mayoral control, which I am a huge supporter of, is that some parents believe that their input isn't there anymore. I want to make sure that their input is there. Parents are an integral part of the education process. And at the same time, I want to work with the teachers. Clearly want to give the teachers the resources and the ability to be excellent teachers. Our children deserve that. I want the children to come out, because the other part of my agenda is creating more jobs in the city of New York, really good paying jobs. I want those children trained and capable of doing what's necessary to be employable in the 21st century. I also want them to think, I want them to read, I want to enjoy all of the things that school provides people, the opportunity to make rational decisions.
Do you think the city should fund private schools, particularly schools that have some sort of religious connotation?
I think that question is resolved already by the Supreme Court of the United States. While municipalities are not allowed to fund directly religious institutions, they are allowed to provide certain aspects of the school that are not religious. For example, there was a time in which there were nurses in all schools, because it's a public health issue. It's not just an issue. Public health means we need to make sure the entire community, regardless of where children go to school. The same is true with public safety. The most important word there is public, making sure that they're safe. So, there's no reason in the world why schools that are not public schools are not at risk from a public safety point of view. And I think the government of the City of New York can do more in that area. Last year there was a bill in the New York State Senate, which I supported from the outside. I was an elected member. It's written by Senator Marty Golden, passed by the New York State Senate, providing a tax credit for people who send their children to other than public schools. It is a good idea. It happens in many, many states. It's been constitutionally held up. And I would like that to continue. I don't know why it wasn't brought to the floor of the Assembly, where people should have had the right to vote.
Do you expect de Blasio to shift at all on stop and frisk?
I don't know. Let's see what happens. I honestly don't know. I haven't thought about the positions that one may take or change or all that. Look, we evolve. If he wants to change his position on stop, question, and frisk, I will applaud him for it.
Do you think he'll, what do you think his direction will be for security for New Yorkers?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't want to get involved in this campaign at that level. I'd like to be able to talk to Bill about it. We're going to have debates. We're going to have a vigorous campaign. What is it, 55 days until the election? It's going to be a sprinting marathon, and we're looking forward to making sure that everybody gets to hear the points of view and how divergent they are.
This is
On the topic of fundraising, you come out of the primary with very little money in the bank. Can you talk a little bit about whether you'll be fundraising nationally, whether that's going to consume a significant amount of time? And
I read that in the paper today. It's amazing, these stories that come out of whole air. I will be, my opponent as well is coming out of the primary. He's a little bit ahead of me in fundraising. We both can spend $6.2 million. We're both going to have to raise the money. I'm not worried about being able to raise the money so that I can have a vigorous campaign. And actually, fundraising is politics. Politics is fundraising. It goes in hand. They're not distinctive. There's not a chance that I don't get my message across, whether I'm fundraising or just meeting in the community.
Thanks, everybody.